business.
work through their problems.
And then in the backyard.
Founders have a lot.
I probably don't have time to go to the bathroom.
Nice patio.
Well, we can start the meeting late. I mean, it's just up to us.
Well, Mara's
We have a lot of power.
We do have a lot.
Yeah, I've been on the board that last
I support that 100%.
This is not a short
zoning
meeting,
appeals.
potentially.
Okay.
It was probably
That
years ago.
sounds great.
I feel like that's usually higher stress.
We have a mutual friend, Brad Mom does it.
Sometimes. There's always. It's a little quieter down here too.
There's some like weird country.
All right, it is time to call to order the regular meeting of the Traverse City Light and Power Board for Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Tobin,
Here?
Mattson.
Here.
Ness.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Bomer.
Here.
Davila.
Here.
Heiberger.
Here. Great. Any disclosure of recusal tonight? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to consent. One item, we're going to amend the agenda so we can do public comment before going to closed session, just in case anybody wants to make public comment, they have to wait for us indefinitely. So when Jennifer reads the consent, she's going to suggest the approval of the agenda as amended to that effect. So Jennifer, consent.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed therefrom and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If an item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted in parentheses on the agenda is approved by a single board action adopting the consent calendar. In this case, when you do your moved and seconded, you will
Yes.
just add as amended.
Thank you. Would anybody like to pull anything from consent? All right, would any member of the public like to pull anything from consent? Bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'd like to move as amended.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the board. Quick action. Any further discussion on consent? There isn't. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent passes as amended. Moving on to some recognition of our most recent board member. So, because we're formal and civic and civil, we have a recognition of exemplary public service for Maura Brennan. Whereas Maura has faithfully and capably served the Traverse City Light and Power Board as a board member beginning in 2021, time flies. Whereas it is fitting and proper that the TCLMP board recognize her service and contributions. And whereas she has significantly contributed to the customers and businesses served by the utility by helping to maintain competitive electric rates and exceptional reliability of service. And whereas during her term, she provided valuable guidance and leadership to Traverse City Light and Power, its projects, and its ad hoc committees, which will no doubt have lasting impact on the overall success of the organization. And whereas her positive attitude and professional work ethic has resulted in not only the respect and admiration of her colleagues, but their friendship as well. And whereas, in summary, all the above listed endeavors and many others have been of great benefit to Traverse City Light and Power, the public power sector of the electric utility industry, and the community of Traverse City. So now therefore be it resolved that the Traverse City Light and Power Board hereby extends its sincere appreciation and gratitude to Maura Brennan in recognition of her years of exemplary service to TCLMP. And be it further resolved that TCLMP extends its congratulations to Maura upon the completion of her term with highest esteem and warm wishes. So thank you, Maura. We've got a plaque and a recognition, and sincerely thank you. It really did fly by, and it was a good 5 years. Yep, that's what I thought. Great. And if you want to stick around with public comment, you can tell us what we got wrong tonight. That's your prerogative now. Ma'am, name and address, please. All right. I know, it's a warm, almost summer day, a little punchy. We will move on to unfinished business, which begins with nothing. So we'll go on to new business and look at the ad hoc committee recommendations for the Community Investment Fund.
Great, that's me. We met to review the last tranche of applications for this fiscal year cycle, and we were pleased to recommend a full request amount to the TART Trails application. We are also really pleased that for the other applications, there's places within the Sustainability Department, and in particular the EO program, where we should be able to fund for the Motivate Power request, the full amount that they requested, which is great. And there's also some ability within the Traverse City Civil Air Patrol request to fund parts of that meet those programmatic requests as well. I do want to note that with this, the evolution of our programs, that we also discussed the ability to move certain requests that we get through this application kind of directly to the Sustainability Department for review before the ad hocs meet in the future, to see if a portion, or in some cases, like in this set of requests, the full amount could even be funded there, so that we can better direct these the community investment funds where the policy most directs us to put those. We also, I want to note that the unused funds we're recommending be carried forward into the next fiscal year budget, so we have a slightly larger tranche of community investment funds to fund great projects. We know from the last tranche that was how we were able to fund the Presbyterian Church project, which was a really good project, so that's exciting as well. Any questions or anything about the process or what we're recommending?
Any questions? All right. We want to make a motion?
I can make the motion. I move, let's see, that the Light and Power Board approve funding from the approved Community Investment Fund budget line item towards the following organization, TART Trails, in the amount of $7,500.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. Moving on to the public hearing for the metal melting time of use rates. Carla.
All right. We'll start off the presentation with our mission vision, which we do with any presentation, and then we follow with strategic priorities. This proposed rate structure, which was presented at the March board meeting, aligns with TCLP strategic priorities of financial and operational excellence and environmental sustainability and customer experience. It allows us to modernize the rate design to better reflect cost causation and system impacts, and aligns with our time of use rate structure that happened in January. So the agenda here is we'll just review the rate, and then I'll request the board chair to open the public hearing, and if he can read the statement that's included in the packet, and then we'll hear if there's any comments, and then close the public hearing, and then have request approval of the board motion. So this rate is really similar to our time of use Eco Champion rates. It has the same time frame of 1 to 5 p.m. during the summer for the peak period, and then the on-peak period from 5 p.m. to 1 p.m. the day. It excludes holidays and weekends, and then the winter peak period is 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It does remove the demand ratchet that it currently has, which provides more incentive for them to adjust their demand charge. It does separate distribution capacity demand, and it reflects large industrial costs that are primarily demand-driven and not energy-driven. So it really suits their operations. And it provides the customer with greater ability to manage their costs through operation scheduling and startup structures. The costs follow the similar time of use rates where the prices are high during the summer when prices increase due to increase in demand. This is the tariff rate that would be included in our rate book. Just covers availability, nature of service, monthly rate, and so forth. And this continues on. And then we are to the public hearing.
All right. The purpose of the public hearing is to allow the public an opportunity to express and the opportunity for the board to consider the public support, opposition, or general comments regarding this matter. To preserve the written record, members of the public are asked to state whether they are in support or opposition to this matter, or whether they are expressing general comments. After such statement, the public is welcome to continue to elaborate on the matter. The public hearing is open. Would anybody from the public like to make comment during this public hearing? Okay. Public comment. Public hearing is now ended.
Yep.
And we'll bring it back to the board for first clarifying questions of staff on the rate. All right, is that a motion if you'd like to make one?
Sure, I'll make a motion that the Light and Power Board approves the metal melting primary service time of use rate to become effective with the August 2026 billing.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? I have just one item I think would be good just to have coverage, although I think I know the answer, but for the sake of the record, the winter peak is long. Durations, most of the day. Can we just briefly comment on, I think people understand summer peak and trying to avoid the afternoon. The duration of the winter peak, can you just comment briefly on the basis for that?
So our transmission demand and our capacity demand varies between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. during the winter. So that's why it covers that whole period. During the summertime, our transmission capacity and our regular generation capacity is usually in the afternoon from 1 to 5 or from 11 to 6. So it's really when we're peaking in transmission capacity. And that I expect that to change in the future.
Yeah.
As we evolve with heat pumps and EV charging.
Great. Okay. One last chance for the board. Seeing none. Any public comment on this matter? All right. Now we are going to vote. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The new rate passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. Okay, we're going to move on to the operating budget.
Okay. So I'd like to start out on behalf of the leadership team. I'm pleased to present the proposed fiscal year 26-27 electric and fiber operating budgets. This budget really reflects our continued commitment to reliability, financial stewardship, strategic growth, and long-term sustainability for our community. Before diving into the numbers, I think it's important to ground this budget in our mission and vision. Everything you see tonight will align with our commitment to deliver innovative, affordable, and reliable energy and telecom services. It will also show our commitment towards sustainability and operational excellence. This budget is intentionally built around our 6 strategic priorities shown here: community enrichment, customer experience, employee excellence, operational and financial excellence, technology transition, environmental sustainability, and the value statements on the next slide. Our investments this year directly supports these priorities and values. The next couple slides just shows our TCLP metrics versus the electric with 14,000 meters. We peak at 70.8 as our highest peak demand, and currently we're at 49 employees. And then our fiber metrics, just a few, we have 946 active services, 3.9 peak bandwidth, and 91 miles of infrastructure. And then this is our board. So our budget actually starts in December. It's a 5-month process. We always start it with a brainstorming session just to talk about, is there alternative revenues that we can create? Are we providing the best service? Is there places that we can cut costs? You know, we cover a gamut of things during this budget brainstorming session. And then we head into the budget approach, which is really a blended approach of historical budgeting for stable operational costs, zero-based budgeting for new initiatives, risk-based prioritization for infrastructure and cybersecurity, and strategic long-term financial planning. By having this blended approach, it really allows us to remain disciplined while still advancing key initiatives. So I just want to kind of start out as what's changed, why, and what does it mean for rates and risk. As presented in the March board meeting, we have created some new positions that align with our adopted strategic plan priorities. We've conservatively budgeted purchase power to proactively manage energy market volatility, you know, with the new transition from coal plants being decommissioned to a new energy mix such as battery technology. There's congestion at the MISO queue. There's new loads with data centers. And then we have our weather conditions too. We're investing in demand response programs supporting system reliability in our climate action plan. We continue compliance with the state of Michigan energy optimization requirements. We're expanding community education outreach in accordance with our climate action plan. And we've enhanced enterprise risk mitigation through software, monitoring tools, and preventative maintenance. We're supporting these investments while maintaining financial stability. We are proposing a 5% base rate increase starting in October billing period. The proposed 5% increase represents a phased approach to addressing the utility's financial needs to cover costs. Although it doesn't fully close the current small deficit budgeted, it balances near-term affordability with a plan for future incremental adjustments. We started this with the 2002 cost of service study with doing a 5-year rate plan. The next cost of service study is expected in 2027-28, and we'll continue with that 5-year rate plan, but probably migrate to a multi-year rate increase adjustment instead of an annual rate adjustment. Next, so we'll start in diving into the numbers with operating revenues. This is a graph that I do every year. It shows electric utility sales compared to purchase power. And what you want to see are those two lines in alignment. And that means our power cost recovery is working, passing on that wholesale cost, whether if we're adding costs or decreasing costs to the customer. I do have to, I'm sorry, I did find an error on the 25-26 projected revenues. I understated the residential, so that dot should be just a slight higher. As I mentioned, we have budgeted conservatively the purchase power due to evolving energy markets and regulatory shifts. So this does result in an increase in power cost recovery. You see for 2026-27, it goes up to 0.02. We had the same instance in 24-25. We actually came under budget $1 million. In 25-26, we're expected to come under budget $1 million. And we did expect the power cost recovery in 25-26 to be 0.017. So we've come really under budget, and I do expect that to happen in 26-27. But our goal is to proactively manage purchase power by kind of providing the worst case scenario rather than to react to it mid-year. So even with the proposed 5% increase, our projected 26-27 rate of 12.91 cents, which is that dark blue line, remains below the 2024 Michigan average of 14.09 cents across municipal, cooperative, and investor-owned utilities. And this data comes from the U.S. Department of Energy Information Administration. So we remain competitive while continuing to invest in reliability and sustainability. I just want to kind of give you a brief recap of our rate timeline. So we started out in 2021 with no overall base rate increase due to the COVID pandemic. We had a minor increase in 21-22 and 22-23 of 2.5%. In 23-24, we had no rate adjustment. In 24-25, we had an overall base rate increase of 5%. And then in 25-26, we did a no overall base rate adjustment there too, because of the being mindful of the potential of the power service cost recovery increase. We did have some surcharges of the life surcharge of $1.25 per account, and then the energy optimization, which is like 0.002 cents overall if you were to average it over our sales. And then we had transition to time of use in January 2026. So in 26-27, as mentioned, we are proposing a base rate increase of 5%. So of the 12.91 cents, this graph shows what it consists of. 8.46 cents covers generation and transmission outside of our system. 4.45 cents covers distribution, system operations, customer service, administration, and capital investment. So this breakdown highlights that most costs are power supply related and not local operational spending. Next, we'll transition the TCLP fiber operating revenue. The fiber revenue that you see in 26-27 is directly tied to the Phase 2 expansion. Customer growth will continue steadily across residential and commercial segments. This reflects positive market response and strong community adoption. And this slide just shows the actual customer count that we are expecting. Next, we'll transition into operating expenses. So this is our purchase power, kind of calling out our solar energy, which is 31% of TCLP's purchase power. As you can see, we have several solar projects, which helps to diversify our purchase power portfolio. And then we have 2 wind energy projects that make up 10% of our energy supply. This next slide, you can see that our renewable portfolio continues to grow. For fiscal year 26-27, approximately 44.7% of our purchase power portfolio reflects renewable energy sources, which includes solar, landfill gas, and wind. We continue to transition from coal to cleaner natural gas peaker, as you see under the few highlights. Bell River, the second unit conversion from coal to gas will happen in September 2026, with the first conversion happening in September 2025. Additionally, we're expanding our solar resources with Hart Solar coming online in September of 2026. The next slide is provided by MPPA, and it shows our annual greenhouse gas emissions. So you can see in 2021 compared to 2026, 2027, we're significantly declining, which is a great thing. Next, we'll move into electric operating expenses. So this shows 23-24 actual, 24-25 actual, and 25-26 projected. You'll see for distribution, an increase in 24-25. That's directly related to the feasibility study with the Innovation Campus. Looking at generation, which is kind of that pale yellow, that's increasing over the board, and that's just having those personnel costs focus more on the CT as it's running more versus helping with the distribution department. Customer accounting increase related to the expansion of the Hall Street Customer Service Center, the customer experience study that was completed, and we have had an increased utilization of credit card payments. Public service increase relating to the energy optimization and electrification initiatives. Information system, which is the dark gray, continues to increase for staffing for cybersecurity and resilience. And general administration increase relating to centralizing our procurement process and supporting expanding electric and fiber operations. Next, we'll move on to TCLP fiber operating expenses. The dark and lit fiber system has been increasing relating to larger FT allocation for the operations and additional efforts in marketing and communications. And then our customer accounting has increased similar to the electric fund for the same reasons, the expansion to the Hall Street customer experience study and the increase in credit card utilization. Now we'll transition and look at the electric budget comparison of 25-26 to 26-27. You'll see the distribution, the dark yellow, increasing. This is directly related to the additional FTEs supporting operational excellence and system reliability. Public service, which is the gray, continues to increase aligned with sustainability initiatives or the increase in energy optimization efforts. The information system, the dark blue, actually declined due to realigning our software costs based to actual spend plus the assessed needs for the upcoming years. And administrative staffing, general administrative continues to increase because we've had some staffing adjustments to support the workload growth in that area. And we're also conducting a comprehensive wage study and emphasizing professional development to support workforce sustainability. Fiber budget comparison, you'll see an increase in the dark and lit fiber. This is related to expanded marketing and communication efforts with FTEs and contracted professional sales services. These investments are designed to support sustainable fiber growth. So next we'll look at employees. So total projected staffing increases from 56 to 63 employees. Most of these were presented during the March board presentation. We did have one change. We have looking to hire a part-time janitor, so that will offset our cleaning contract costs. So that's like a complete wash. These additions align directly with the strategic plan implementation across community enrichment, customer experience, operational excellence, and technology transition. So as you can see, our projected wages total $6.4 million. Our projected benefits total $4.57 million. So these positions represent necessary capacity, not access, as we expand both electric and fiber operations. As we look into the higher costs for employees, which is pension and OPEB costs, you'll see that we've accelerated our pension plans, pension costs in the past, which is going to benefit us in 2031. Those pension contributions are expected to decline by about 59%. And plus, I think for the OPEB, we should be really proud. We actually are overfunded, which is not very common within the state of Michigan, and that's denoted by the negative 404,000. So our employee average age is about 43 and pretty young, and we have 3 employees eligible for retirement. Next, we'll move into professional development. This chart shows an increase in those costs, but there's the reasoning for that is to reduce operational and safety risk, supports compliance with evolving regulations, improves service reliability for customers, enhances operational efficiency, and strengthens leadership development. The next slide breaks down those professional development by strategic initiatives and then also by focus area, showing that industry conference, leadership and workforce development, and safety and technical are our top 3 focus areas. So this will ensure our team is equipped to manage a modern electric and fiber utility. So that's the conclusion of the 26-27 budget. I hope you grasp that it continues to maintain system reliability, it advances our strategic plan, it proactively manages energy risk, it strengthens cybersecurity and operation resilience, expands fiber services, it supports workforce sustainability, it keeps rates below state averages. And I have to thank the leadership team because it's a careful planning, conservative forecasting over 5 months. And we really try to do our best with long-term financial stewardship of the ratepayers' funds. So I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Thank you, Carla. Any questions? Fire away.
I've got one question.
Please.
And maybe I was just reading ahead too fast, which is what happens when you put something in front of me before you present it. I heard you mention credit card fees are continuing to maybe increase. Is that correct? Are we absorbing those fees, or are we charging for them?
No, we absorb them. We had customer survey, I think, 13 years ago, and then we've had one like every so many years, and that was a big item that ratepayers were unhappy with because we used to charge them a convenience fee to recoup that cost.
Sure.
So based on that customer survey feedback, we transitioned to absorb those costs.
Okay. And what's that number look like? Do you know?
So it's 3.3% of the charges. So this year we're expected probably like 150, 160,000, and I budgeted 200,000 for the upcoming year.
Okay. Just might look at not absorbing that in the future as we increase our rates by 5%. I know DTE just added I believe it's a $2.99 charge to their bills. I think I just paid mine today, actually, and it was $2.99 for
yeah.
using a credit card.
I do have to note, we do not allow commercial demand industrial, those with the larger bills to utilize credit
Okay,
card.
that's
So,
direct.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's certainly something we can discuss.
Yeah, just, I mean, that's
Yeah.
So maybe there's a middle ground.
$150,000, $200,000. That's an entire employee or potential program.
Absolutely.
My personal experience is that I started using credit card on my personal bill here once the surcharge went away. So it is like true that you're kind of driving people to different things. And so I kind of concur with your conclusion as well.
And I did just sign, I mean, I signed up personally my bank account to my gas bill today because I was like,
Yeah.
it's just easy. It took me an extra 2 minutes.
Behavioral economics, yeah.
But
So
I know not everybody's situation is the same.
I'll make certain, excuse me, I'll make certain that we tee this up then, maybe for future conversations. In talking with Carla and I talk about this every year. And I think the question is do you have the appetite for the rate base not to absorb it? It sounds like you want to have maybe some more updated conversation on it. So we'll tee that up. I mean, we're doing a cost of service study, obviously talking about the rates. So we'll definitely have an opportunity to onboard that conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering also if we're consistent with how the other city utilities bill, because I'm pretty sure there's a convenience fee associated with our water bill and other city utility bills that we get. So
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
It's a great suggestion.
Sounds like we're time.
Other questions or ideas?
When we're at that point of considering the 5% increase and having the public hearing around it, it'll be really helpful to give kind of an average impact on bills and ways in which to reduce that impact through, for example, not paying a credit card fee and having your bank account hooked up, or other kind of green incentives, time of use rates, et cetera. So just kind of a flag also for the future.
I think it's important to also highlight where TCLP's rate is relative to the rest of the state, just for some context, because otherwise it's just coming out of nowhere. There's no perspective, but I think that'd be helpful.
Thank you for the feedback.
Great. Others?
Small item again on the professional development piece. I would, this is less about the budget and more about, I'm curious what the prior 23-24 looked like, because the sense that I have is that there's a projected increase here on top of an additional increase, all of which to say this is good. So, highlighting that. And then the second small thing is this doesn't include board development. This is pure staff professional development. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Partially as a comment to myself, but also to the board as a whole, I'd say we should try and encourage ourselves to get out there in some of the conferences and the like for that, and include ourselves into this development piece.
Great comment. Comments?
I have one more.
Please.
Sorry we keep bringing it up, but relative to the Campbell coal plant and the projections of the cost associated with keeping that open and how it's being spread out for all the utilities in Michigan and maybe Indiana too, is there any sense of how much the increased cost is going to keep moving into the future, and how are you kind of anticipating that? It's not going to cost less. It's going to keep costing more, right?
No, I mean, they're at the last MPPA meeting, they talked about how Campbell's going to have to take some outages to make some enhancements to the plate, and there was some operational difficulties that they had to correct. The only good thing, I mean, it does get spread, but We're still in the process of filing with FERC, or MPPA is, for the reimbursement of costs that we are due reimbursable by the DOE order. So hopefully we will get feedback soon, and once MPPA does, we'll progress into the next time chunk, the next 90 days, and request reimbursement. But I mean, if we're getting reimbursements at somebody, you know, it's at other ratepayers' costs. But I don't have any more information besides that. I don't know if, unfortunately.
Tricky
Yes.
for planning.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to plan 90 days at a time.
Right.
When, you know, you have to plan in a 12-month
Right.
period, and we're not able to realize that.
Or what capital improvements do you do, you know,
That's the heart, yeah.
that are significant in cost?
Well, you're doing a great job, so.
Thank you for that.
I have one more question, which is on the fiber operating revenue and expected customers. We're projecting like a 300% increase. And I assume that's not like every single person who's eligible will sign up. I'm just curious if you can like provide a little bit more information about like how you calculated that projection.
Yeah, it's not every customer, just so you know. Carly, you want to talk about what the CBA we're working from?
Yeah, so what I did is, you know, I worked with Mark Watson, and we started drops or customers connecting in July, and we have it broken out into 3 phases. And then we, each phase has a certain amount of passings for residential and commercial customers. And we, I do like about 2.5% increase every month for the take rate for each phase. And so that gets us to 40% in October 27, November 2027. So we're still shooting for that 40% take rate that was presented by Fujitsu at a small gradual rate starting in July of 2026.
So is that based on like a counterfactual in terms of what we've seen historically from those who are eligible, who actually do sign up, or is that still based on the Fujitsu like projection and target that was a little, yeah.
So phase 1.1, we reached 40% within that time frame. But phase 1, to be honest, the commercial still isn't there at the 40%. But this phase 2, the commercial is a minute amount of the passings compared to the residential.
Thank you.
Good question. Any more? Okay, then we're going to take each of these resolutions one by one. So if you saw this, there we have the slides coming. So the first one pertains to actually getting these budgets to the City Commission. If someone would like to move us forward.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
I move that the Light and Power Board approves forwarding the 2026-2027 electric and fiber operating budget as presented or as amended to the City Commission for its consideration of approval.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion on the proposed budget? Any public comment on the proposed budget? Bring it back to the board for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion 1 passes. Second one pertains to our retirement system and the accelerated amortization.
I do that one. I move that the Light and Power Board directs staff to contribute into the retirement system based on the accelerated amortization calculated on the market value of assets option provided by MERS for the fiscal year end June 30th, 2027.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion on this motion? Any public comment? Back to the board for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, second motion passes. Third motion gets into the Retirement Health Trust Fund.
I move that the Light and Power Board direct staff to contribute into the other post-employment benefits retiree health trust fund on the plan's assumption, and further direct staff to pay the retiree health insurance premiums out of the retiree health trust fund for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2027.
Thank you. Support.
Second.
All right, Paul beat you to it. Any discussion on the third motion? Any public comment on the third motion? Back to the board for a vote. Please say aye if you support it.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. And the last one regarding the cash reserve amount.
I'll do it. I move that the Light and Power Board approves the electric fund minimum cash reserve amount as presented in the cash flow.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion?
Quick question on
Yes,
that,
please.
actually. What's that percentage? I'm just right off the top of my head, I can't remember.
It's not really a percentage, so we have like 4 components. We do 11% of purchase power costs, and then we have the capital improvement plan, average 5-year amount, and then we have next year's debt service risk in there, and then we have historical asset replacement costs. So it's a dollar amount, and then if you give me a second, I will.
I only ask because so many boards that I sit on, it's a percentage of total budget or a percentage of the fund, and I'm just curious where we're at.
No, we have a policy that approved by the TCOP board that outlines the formula for it, for the calculation.
Okay.
That's traditionally based on basic utility standards for how you budget and fund utilities.
Okay.
Yeah, so the reserved amount is 10.9 million, which our ending cash balance is expected to be about 12.7 million.
Great question. Any further discussion or questions on this last motion? Okay. Any public comment? Back to the board for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, last motion carries. Thank you, Carla. Great
Thank you.
job. Let's see here.
Comms.
Okay, great. So we're into reports and communications. No lawyers on our staff who are paid to be our lawyer. There's none. Anything from staff? Okay. And then we'll go into our IT security review, which is a closed session.
Public comment.
Oh, thank you. We had amended the agenda specifically so we could ask our consultant if he wants to make public comment. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, no public comment. Thank you for that, Paul. So we'll move into, at least I'll put up a motion to move into closed session. And again, I'm going to have to go with you because my internet has failed me.
I think there isn't a motion in the packet, but
Okay.
we can, I
Can
guess,
you-
check in with,
I think that you'll just, the board enter into closed session following public comment
Thank you.
and adjourn immediately thereafter.
Okay, I will, we'll move into closed session and adjourn thereafter.
Before you move, so actually, I'll go ahead, let me make
No,
a couple
please,
comments.
please,
That might
please
help,
do.
because it's actually more for myself, too.
Okay.
So I am recommending that the board receive an information security update, but I'm recommending that you go into closed session to do that. The Open Meetings Act does permit us to be able to do that. However, it will involve a roll call vote.
That's right, that's
And Jen can probably handle that for us. And so perhaps after you go into a vote, then,
Yes.
does that sound like a
I
plan?
thought yes.
Okay.
So it's no motion, it's just a simple roll call vote to support or not going into closed
5
session for
votes
the
needed.
security review of
Yep.
our infrastructure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Tobin?
Here.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, oh, sorry.
To go into closed session
Yes,
or
aye.
not go? Okay. Mattson?
Yes.
Ness?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Bomer?
Yes?
Davila?
Aye.
Hiberger?
Aye.
Okay,
You
great.
know, if you don't mind, I might make a point of order. It probably might make sense to make certain you do a motion, if you don't mind doing that one more time.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going off memory, but that.
Yeah.
that,
I've got one here.
Okay, thank
So I move to enter into closed session to consult with the executive team on internal IT developments and policies pursuant to Section 8 of the Michigan Open Meetings Act.
Sounds
Support.
good to me. Thank you both. Any discussion on the motion? Any public comment on the motion? All those in favor of the motion, please indicate. No, should we do a roll call for
Let's
this?
do it one more
Let's
time.
do a roll call
Let's
for
do it
this
for-
motion. Okay, we got this.
So nice we did it twice.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Tobin?
Yes.
Mattson?
Aye.
Ness?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Bomer?
Yes.
Davila?
Yes.
Hiberger?
Yes.
Thanks for all that integrity checks. We will go into closed session, and the meeting will be adjourned upon completion of that session.
All right,
All right,
sounds
thanks.
good.